Hi there, this is Steve from chordbook.com and welcome to this video where I'll be talking to you about choosing a guitar. As a beginner starting out learning the instrument, it can be difficult to know which one do you start off with, so hopefully this will help you with that. Now, there are two main types of guitar available, and that's acoustic, much like the one I'm holding, and electric guitars. Acoustic guitars, the most common type is a steel string acoustic, a bit like the one I'm holding. Steel string is what most guitarists would think of when they think of an acoustic guitar. The other type of acoustic is a classical guitar with nylon strings. They can be known as nylon string guitars. Again, they're quite specific to classical music or more soft folk type music where you're playing kind of finger picking or really delicate kind of classical playing. Now, it's almost a genre of its own, really, classical guitar. I don't play really classical guitar, and I don't have a guitar with nylon strings to show you, but if you know that you want to play classical guitar, definitely get a classical guitar, and if you go down to your local shop, they'll help you choose one that's the right price range for you. If it's acoustic that you want, I would suggest something like a steel string is going to be a good starting point if you're thinking about playing more acoustic music. If you want to play rock music, the other type of guitar is an electric guitar. Now, that's definitely what you want to be getting to play rock music. This is a Fender Stratocaster, which you might recognise as a very common and very popular electric instrument. It's been around since the 1950s and still used today by loads and loads of different players. Now, when you're a beginner, it can be really good to start on an electric guitar, and also if you haven't got very much money to spend on your first instrument, I would always recommend getting an electric guitar. I may think that's a bit strange because electric guitars are a bit more complex, there's a lot more going on with them, but the reasons are that electric guitars, firstly, they're easier to play. They have thinner necks. They have lighter strings, so the strings are easier to bend and manoeuvre. The action, the distance between the strings and the fretboard is a lot lower, and that makes them easier. So when you start out, your fingers can get sore quite quick. So if you're using lighter strings or lower action, that's a huge benefit. They're smaller, they could be easier to sit down and play with, and actually if you're practicing a lot, I do a lot of practice with electric guitar without an amplifier. You may be thinking that you need to buy an amplifier straight away. If you have the money to buy an amplifier, go and get one straight away. Get a practice amp, it's definitely going to be useful. But if you don't want to get one straight away, you don't have to, because you can hear an electric guitar without it being plugged in. Loud enough, and I do most of my practice not plugged in. And actually it can be good for technique to play electric guitar not plugged in, because you're relying on the sound of the string itself and the instrument rather than the sound of a boosted signal. So electric guitar, definitely I would advise, is a really great place to start out. Another reason why that is because acoustic guitars rely more on the quality of their wood and the way that they're built. So if you want to get a really cheap one, often they're not built very well. The action can be very high, making it very hard to play. They can be laminated wood, not such good quality sound. And again, the strings are heavier and harder to play, and they're bigger and more cumbersome. So they can be difficult when you're first starting out. I love acoustic guitars, but generally I wouldn't go below sort of £400 or £500 for an acoustic, and that's quite a lot of money. If you do have a bit more money and you want to buy a good quality electric guitar, I would always recommend taking a friend with you that knows about these instruments, or maybe has played quite a bit. Take them to the shop with you. The same goes for acoustics actually. If they know what they're talking about, they can help you to beat the salesman's the pitch, and they can play some of the up guitars and help you hear how they sound. You may hear something that you don't like, you may hear one, that's the one, that's the sound I like. Now, one thing that I've noticed when I've been shopping in guitar shops is the starter packs that you can get. Companies like Epiphone and Squier particularly make one package that has everything you need. It has a guitar, an amp, a strap, a lead, a soft case, plectrums, a tuner. Basically everything that you're going to need when you want to start playing guitar, all for about £150, so pretty cheap. Now obviously as a starter package, you might want to buy a more expensive guitar in the future, but if you're going to be just working stuff out, that sounds like it's a great option to me. And the benefit of that also means that you're not going to get home and think, oh, it's gone out of tune, how do I tune it? Got to go back and buy a tuner. These things all add up and can be quite expensive. If money isn't an object, like I said, you can get a friend help you, or the guys in the shop help you to choose a better quality instrument and the accessories that go with that. If you've decided that you want to play electric guitar and you still haven't thought about what type you want, a good thing to do would be to think about the type of bands you like or particular guitar players that you like. What do they play? You know, I really liked Hendrix when I was starting out. He played a Fender Strat. Guess what I got for my first guitar? You know, there's lots of different types out there, and thinking about that can help you cut them down as a starting point. Now, one other thing to think about is an amplifier. I've mentioned it briefly. If you do want to buy an amplifier, I would always recommend getting a practice amp. They're smaller, cheaper, you can play them at home, and it means you're not going to annoy the neighbours. If later on down the line you're doing gigs and you want to play louder, then obviously you can upgrade then. Practice amp for now will do you fine. So, hopefully this video will help you go out there and choose your first guitar. Enjoy the process. Hope you try lots of lovely guitars out, and take care. Bye for now.